lives one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get you and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
Hashtag 901 Hitmaker.
It's hard to love when they teach love will get you murdered. Diamonds in the kingdom, better search. Believe that. At one point, didn't know Jack. Every sentence seemed like I cussed. Laying up with a different girl. Some nights seemed like a must. Feeling all used to be my crush. Want the pain over too much. All I need is one touch. This is more than a gut feeling. Sealed up, got the Holy Spirit. I know his voice when he call my name. Yeah, I do hear it. Come on out of that fear spirit. Come on out of that adultery. Oh, God be stalking me. How we gonna improve if we
was a kid, there used to be this thing that was WWJD. What would Jesus do? And I look at things now, I look at them like, okay, WWJD, WWMD, WWGD. I mean, like, what would God do? What would Jesus do? What would Moses do? What would Muhammad do? What would any of the greats do during the time that we're going through now? See, you see, it seems as if we all, or a lot of people, claim to be, Christians or Muslims or spiritual or godly or whatever the word is, but every day we continue to hear and witness situations and things that are just the opposite of that. We all know right now that there's enough food in the world. There's enough food in the world to feed everybody. We know these things. We also know that there are people, children, elderly, that's dying because they don't have adequate health care, because they don't have medicines that's readily available. And the only reason that they don't have it is because they can't afford it. And we know these things. And yet we call ourselves godly. We call ourselves spiritual. We call ourselves Christian. We call ourselves Muslim. We call ourselves, we say we follow Buddha. All these things. We say that we are good people. We say that we stand for what's correct and what's good. And yet we will walk right by someone who's homeless and begging and not even acknowledge them. So the question is not just WWJD, what would Jesus do, or what would Muhammad do, or what would Moses do, or what would anybody else do? The question is, what would we do? What would we do in these situations? You see, there are times in which we have an opportunity to share the godliness that's inside of us. And every time, it's a book called The Art of, I think it's called The Art of Motorcycle Maintenance or something like that. There's a part in there in which the guy said, anytime we make a decision and anytime we don't make a decision, or we choose not to make a choice, that's still making a choice. You know what I mean? Like, so when we choose not to say something, when we choose not to do something, in all actuality, we're still making a choice. We're still making a decision. So sometimes we feel as if we're not doing the actual harm, if we're not actually the ones that's racist, if we're not actually the ones that's saying crazy things, that it's no harm, no foul, right? But if we don't speak up, our silence sometimes speak louder than our words. What kind of environment, what kind of society, what kind of world do we really want to live in? I think if you asked anybody this, no one would say, well, we want it to be, war, and we want it to be divisiveness. But that's exactly what's going on. War, divisiveness. And many times we don't say anything. We rationalize certain behaviors. We say, well, they shouldn't have done this, but, or he shouldn't have done that, but. And then we rail against certain individuals, certain groups, certain religions, certain things, when on the other end, when it's someone that maybe it's in our same group, maybe in our same lifestyle, maybe in our same religion, maybe if it's people from those types of things, we don't feel the same way. We give them a pass. And the thing is, if we continue to give passes, then what's the point of having a pass, right? I always, every week I give a challenge, the Khadevis Robinson challenge. I give a challenge. And the challenge is not to see if you can actually do the challenge, because I know it can be done. The challenge is to keep is an awareness of how we live in our lives. I think sometimes we go through life on autopilot. About a couple of weeks ago, just out of the blue, I had a friend who just passed away. Just literally, it was out of the blue. And this lady is absolutely amazing. And it just came out of nowhere. It was no signs or anything. Just one day you hear, the next day just out of here. And it's just sad, and it reminds you of how fragile life really is. And this was a young lady who who has kids and daughters, and one's already in college and one's about to go to college next year, and she just absolutely worked her tail off. And just really love those kids and all that. But the point I'm trying to make is that, we live in a world in which sometimes I think we get so caught up in living that we don't grasp the beautiful things we have in front of us. And the amazing thing about this lady is that she really, every time I would talk to her, no matter what she would be going through, she always had energy. She always brought me up, She never was really, asking for anything. It was always a calmness, a positive energy, and an uplifting energy. And that's one thing we can give, even when we cannot give maybe money, or even when we might fall short in certain situations, we can always give off a great positive energy. And as I read things on the internet, I don't have TV, but as I read things on the internet, and you just had this massacre that happened in New Zealand, and it happened in a mosque. I mean, like, really? What kind of evil murders in the place of worship? I mean, and this is not the first time this has happened. It's happened in churches. It's happened in all sorts of things. And the crazy thing is you still have individuals that's rationalizing the reasoning behind it without sitting back and going, wait, hold on. There's no possible logical reason for these things to happen, particularly in the house of God. Even if you don't believe in the same religion they believe in, you got to say that wrong is wrong. I think sometimes we get so caught up in thinking what we're doing is right that we never take time to look back and say if it was a possibility that we could be wrong, right? So as I ponder the little bracelet that people used to wear at WWJD, what would Jesus do? As I ponder the question of, what would Buddha do? What would God do? What would Moses do? What would Muhammad do? What would, I can go a little bit further. What would Mother Teresa do? What would Gandhi do? What would Martin Luther King do? What would Muhammad Ali do? What would Nelson Mandela do? What would any of these individuals do during this time? I need to reflect on maybe what would they do, but I need to stop and pause and ask myself, what would I do? And whatever I would do, should I be doing it? And can I put aside my own prejudices, my own discriminations, my own failures, my own shortcomings? Can I put aside and say, you know what, some things are just wrong and some things are just right, and you know what, I'm going to start listening to what that WWJD was supposed to mean. It doesn't necessarily supposed to mean like, okay, Jesus would do this, and we know Jesus is going to make the right decision, and why would he? No, it's just to say, okay, reflect on how should you act in these types of situations. How should you act? WWJD said, what would Jesus do? But that's for you to take notice and say, well, you know what? This is how I should respond. That was wrong, and not be silent of these things. My challenge for you this week is when you hear someone defending something that shouldn't be defended, when you see someone doing something they shouldn't be doing, when you feel a presence that's not a good presence, I want you to act. Don't do nothing to get yourself in trouble. Don't do nothing to get yourself hurt. But I want you to be aware and conscious of what's going on and ask yourself, WWID, what would I do? What will I do and what should I do? This has been Khadevis Robinson. This is the Khadevis Robinson Challenge. And I holla.
Ain't no worry about a thing, no. 'Cause I know that you are always right here with me. Ain't no worry about a thing, no. 'Cause I know that you are right here with me. Words out. we'll have peace about it. Ain't worried about that. Worry never changed a thing. While you stressing out, be still about. Right spread, you don't hear about. Wait, see, you don't never doubt it. Ain't worried about that. It's your still easy. Ain't no worry about a thing. No, 'cause I know that you are always right here with me. Ain't no worry about a thing. No, 'cause I know that you are right here with me. If you gon' pray, don't worry about it. If you gon' pray, don't worry about it. If you gon' pray, don't worry about it. If you gon' pray, don't worry about it.
I ain't worried about nothing. My face chopping that gut. We flex, man, on everything. This guy back is gon' crush it. Straight back, shorty, no bluffing. Dead out, homie, we cut me. We ain't tripping, we put it out of commission. Put the word on it, the hitter with you, keep bugging. If God said it, that's law. Y'all know we walking that talk. We was made in His image and winning from the beginning, no limited, and then what you thought. We ain't never taking no show. He gave us a victory, taking that cross. We pray and leave it right there. No picture running, no picture. We send it up in the air like a ball.